We don't all upgrade our iPhones every year, right? Because I think this is the upgrade video for the rest of us. Because I'd actually bet that most of us do not upgrade our phone every single year. I know for me, I've been using and rocking the iPhone XR for quite a while. This phone even has cracked back. I've had a case on it trying to just extend the life of it a little bit. And just now, 5 years later from when this was announced to this year's iPhone 15, I'm now making the upgrade. But I'm making the upgrade to the base model. Because I am a photographer, I do carry another camera with me a lot of the time, particularly if I know I'm going to go do something that I'm going to want to take photos, I'm going to want to get a little bit of video, and the iPhone is just there as a backup and kind of in between moments. So I'm not looking for the highest quality all of the time, which is why I went with the base model. But there's a lot that I'm now getting that I didn't have before. So on the inside, this phone has the A12 chip. This new one has the A16 chip. So quite a bit of an upgrade in terms of just processing power, speed, all of that. So the phone can do more based off of the new processor. And it isn't just an incremental increase from 15 to 16. This is going from a 12 all the way up to the 16. Now that's not going to be an upgrade that most people can tell on a day-to-day basis, but I can say that this phone has been getting increasingly slow and increasingly buggy. Not really buggy, but like stalls a little bit. Just like needs a minute to like process what I'm asking it to do. And I'm hoping this upgrade here to the 15 is going to at least solve that in terms of its speed. This processing power is going to be able to get through some of those requests a little bit faster. So let's run through some of the features that have been around for a little bit, at least a generation or two of the iPhone that I haven't had access to. Things that were headlines last year that are now just things that I'm getting today. First up is that dynamic island. I've had the notch on the XR, and now I'm getting the dynamic island. That has a couple of features depending on the apps and being able to track things without having to open up full apps, which I'm excited to see play out in real life. The screen itself, I'm upgrading from a liquid Retina HD display all the way to this new OLED. New technology has been rolling out, and we now have 5G cellular coverage. That is something I did not have, and now I do. Apple also rolled out the SOS features, so I can now, if I am in a situation where I really need that, I can hit SOS and get some emergency services to me faster than I would with this, because that's just not possible. I'd have to figure out how to hike out or get other help or use some other device to be able to do some things that now is built into the iPhone. One feature upgrade that doesn't matter if you're coming from the 14 or the XR, but is something I am very much looking forward to, is the USB-C. Now on the 15, this is a lower kind of capacity USB-C, and then on the Pro models, there's a higher capacity in terms of charging and data and things like that. So keep that in mind if that's something that you're looking for in knowing which model to go with. But that is something that I'm very much looking forward to, so we can ditch those lightning cables and just stick with USB-C. One of the big ones is MagSafe. So this has that MagSafe, being able to do a bunch of different charging or mounts or other accessories. Do not have any of those capabilities here on the XR. And then digging into the cameras. As you can see, I only have one camera here. This was a 12 megapixel wide angle camera. And then on the selfie cam, that was a 7 megapixel camera. Here on the 15, this is a 48 megapixel main camera with a 12 megapixel ultra wide, as well as a 12 megapixel selfie camera. So upgrades all across the board to every camera. And what that means in terms of processing power and the cameras, the hardware, the software, all of that enables a couple of different modes. So I now have night mode and cinematic mode and action mode, all of which I did not have before. But for me, I do photography and video using some other devices. So it's not as crucial for me, but it is going to be nice to have in a pinch or when I just want to get a quick photo. I have all of those features available in a way that I did not have them before. And so that meant that the base model was all I needed, 128 gigs of storage and the iPhone 15. But you might need that. You might want that, I guess. And there are situations where getting that Pro model is going to be beneficial. Thinking about my wife in particular, she does not have other cameras that she's using, and she is creating some content for our other account, our other YouTube and Instagram account. I'll link those here. And she's using her phone to get a lot of the behind the scenes and some social vertical content. So we decided that it made sense for her to go ahead and get the Pro model because it has a third lens on there, has a couple of other features that are going to enable her to get a little bit better content. So just know what you're looking for and what you need before you go and spend a lot of money on kind of the top tier. This is still the iPhone 15 Pro. There are even the Max, I think is what they call the bigger version that has even another different lens on it and more storage options and all of those things. We decided this was going to be the best option for her, still small, kind of that smaller model instead of the bigger one, but has that third lens that she's able to get some other telephoto content as well as just record in different formats and things like that. We both did get cases to protect these. They talk about the titanium and the aluminum, but like most people, we get cases. We did get the official Apple silicone cases just to protect them a little bit and make them easier to hold and make sure that, you know, this doesn't happen again, because this was not fun. And I was going caseless, this happened, and then I got a case to kind of prolong the life of this. We're just going to avoid that altogether and start with cases. So while there are a lot of videos kind of comparing the 15s to the 14s and if you should upgrade if you're in that last year's model, and most of the time that's just a hard no. For most of us, we're not upgrading from last year's model. We may have something from a couple of years before, and there are a lot of features available now that upgrade feels like a big difference versus just the incremental improvements that they're making year over year. It may be time for you to do that, it may not, and that's going to be up to you, obviously. But I wanted to make this video and talk about what that upgrade experience is like for somebody who isn't upgrading from a 14, but is upgrading from something all the way back from 2018 and going from that 10R all the way up to the 15s. So which model are you upgrading to, or are you even upgrading at all? Maybe sticking with your current phone for another year or two? Let me know down in the comments below, and I will see you in the next one.